movie I reviewed was, I believe it was the Conan the Barbarian remake, which was summer of last year. So I'm back yet again, and I'm going to do a review for Alien 3, that's right, which originally the Alien movies were meant to be a trilogy. This is one of those box set space savers, which has all three aliens in one set. And these were the original DVD releases. It has the director's cut of Aliens, which is a bit random information, but now I'm going to take this time to talk about Alien 3. Alien 3 came out in 1992, and I'm kind of cheating here because I can't remember the runtime. It's an hour and 45 minutes. And although some people feel that Alien 3 is a weak entry in the series, I really like Alien 3. I think it was the last good one. The first three are the best. Henceforth, I prefer it as a trilogy because each one picks up, as far as the sequels go, each one picks up where the previous one ended. So Aliens picks up where Alien ended, and Alien 3 picks up where Aliens ended. Excuse me, as far as continuity goes. Came out in 1992. And this is the plot. Lieutenant Ellen Ripley crash lands on a bleak planet inhabited by former inmates of a maximum security prison. But she was not the only one aboard her craft. When the bodies of ex-cons begin to mount, she must lead the men into battle against a terrifying creature without modern weapons of any sort. And it stars Sigourney Weaver, Charles Dutton, Charles Dance, and Lance Henriksen. Now this was the year before Charles Dance did Last Action Hero. Lance Henriksen's in it too. Really great cast, directed by David Fincher. And David Fincher directed The Game and Fight Club, which were all thrillers. He also directed the remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which I didn't care for and wasn't much interested in. But one of the first few movies he directed was Alien 3. And they had him do Alien 3. And really, I don't really know why Alien 3 wasn't as well received. I think it was because the pacing. People felt that the movie was a little slow. They felt that it had too much dialogue. Alien 3 was a bit more dialogue driven, and there was less emphasis on action like there was with the first two Alien movies. I don't mind the dialogue. I actually find other dialogue very interesting and fascinating. Alien 3, they also gave Lieutenant Ripley a possible love interest with Charles Dance's character. He was a doctor, and I don't remember his character's name, but they gave her that. As far as the suspense goes, it has some great suspense. The ending of the movie is absolutely amazing. I really must admit that I did not care for the Alien prequel Prometheus. I felt like there was incongruities with continuity in terms of keeping up continuity. I saw that with my mother in theaters, and we found it both very disappointing. Although the atmosphere was pretty good, and overall the special effects were good, the storyline could have been better. And it felt, as far as the sequel goes, Alien Resurrection, that was pretty disappointing as well. It just came up being really comical and kind of cheesy, although it did have a few cool moments and creepy moments in the movie. Alien Resurrection was not good, in my opinion, either. Alien 3 was the last really great Alien movie. And the Alien vs. Predator movies, those were a fucking joke too. But Alien 3 was just... it was like the be-all end-all of Alien movies, and I don't think anything really of significance has happened since then. And while Alien and Aliens are considered classic science fiction horror movies, part of the science fiction horror genre, Alien 3 to me is rather underrated. I don't know what people consider it. I myself would consider it a cult classic. But people just rip on Alien 3. And Alien 3 was the last good Alien movie in the series. And I like it because they had a great deal of three really great directors with the first three. And they had Alec Guinness do the special effects in this, like they did in Aliens. So that was they had him come back and do the special effects when he did Aliens. 1992, I really can't think of what other movies were in theaters that year. 92 was a rough year for me. But I remember in 93, when I first found out about the Alien movies, was through HBO, and they had a making of documentary. It was the making of the trilogy. So, Alien 3, I tried to talk about why I like it. Well, first off, I think the storyline's really good. I think it keeps really great continuity in terms of continuing the story. I really like the dark, gothic, medieval horror atmosphere that it has, but they put it in a science fiction atmosphere, so they do a really great job at that. The fact that you have a storyline where there's all men but one woman, that's intriguing to me too. The woman is almost like a representation of innocence, but in a way it's kind of like a slasher film-esque. With each one, it is much like a slasher film. And, you know, the person that knows how to get out of the situation, yet again, much like the previous two movies, is the woman. You know, the men, they don't know how to handle themselves very well, and she leads all the men into defeating this xenomorph creature. And, you know, I don't want to reveal the movie itself because I feel like I usually try to avoid having any spoilers in these underrated movie reviews, and I haven't done very many of these. The longer I've done them, the better I've gotten. Actually, try to get the best information and retain the best information I could possibly have on these films. But Alien 3 is a rather underrated horror science fiction film in the genre. And as far as sequels go, I think it's a pretty worthy sequel. Okay, sure it's not better than the first two. Sure it's not better than Alien. Sure it's not better than Aliens. But, you know, I don't try to compare it to the first two too much. I think it works pretty well as a standalone movie. I mean, really, you could see all three of these in the original trilogy out of context, and they would work fine. But it does solidify the trilogy, and it's like, this is more of a low-key kind of movie. The first one takes place in a spaceship. The second one takes place on a desolate planet. And the third one takes place in an isolated prison. Each one of these is on an isolated environment, which is what pure horror is all about. And the Alien movies, especially the first Alien, they helped create a frenzy of similar films that were influenced by Alien, and also a lot of copycat knockoffs. One that comes to mind that's actually a pretty good one is Forbidden World. Forbidden World is a really good one. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was a Roger Corman movie of the mid-'80s. And some people actually mistake that and thought it was a sequel to Alien. Forbidden World, they thought, but it's not. But Alien 3 is a movie that was poorly received by fans and critics alike, and panned in some cases, but a movie that has a reputation of its own, and I am a proud fan of that movie, and I feel like it really did get shat on. I hope that this review I do for Alien 3 does the movie justice and pays it the respect it deserves, because it is a good sequel, and it's the last really good film in the series. And like, each one is a representation of something with Lieutenant Ellen Ripley, I feel. It's kind of like the Matrix trilogy in a way. It kind of has a philosophical side to it about corporate greed, and how corporate greed is a bad thing, and I'm kind of revealing things. But it also has a side to it about you know, probably being a human, but also being a woman. The womanly aspects I don't quite get, but I want to try to get. As far as the human aspect goes, like the first one represents birth, the second one represents life, and the third one represents death. And I would definitely say there was a lot of horror and science fiction that was influenced by this original Alien trilogy. One that comes to mind, which I did a review for Matrix Revolutions, is the Matrix trilogy. Matrix trilogy, I would definitely say, was influenced by each one of these. You know, you have, you know, and the thing is, I hear that they're going to do another Alien movie, which is like a remake, reboot, whatever it's supposed to be, and like a remake of Alien 3 or something like that. And it's like, what? It's like, I don't even know. It's like, how good would that be? But there's a part of me that thinks, well, it might be good. You know, it sounds intriguing. You never know. But I really like Alien 3, despite the critics panning it and some of the criticism that the film received for a slow, maybe by saying it was rather slow paced. It's a movie that builds itself up. Much like the first Alien, Aliens is more, the first Alien is basically pure gothic horror science fiction and plays out like a slasher film. It builds it up. So Alien 3 does the same thing that the first Alien did. And Aliens is more of a horror sci-fi action movie. So this one was the most, out of the three, the one that everybody loved was Aliens. And the thing is, Alien 3, I think people, after seeing Aliens, they expected it to be big, you know, they probably expected a little bit too much out of it. I think for what the film executed, it did well in what it executed, and it showed the many different forms of what the aliens can take with each one of these movies. And it was a series that started out good and gradually went downhill. The fourth and fifth film entry in the series were rather disappointing in my opinion, and these were the only three really good ones. And if you want to count the Alien vs. Predator movies, that would be 7 Alien movies together. The first three are the best, the rest rather disappointing. But that concludes my review for Alien 3, and I hope I was informative and insightful in this review. Thank you, and have a nice day.